Hello there, you're welcome. This is CNR Extra on Citi TV. My name is Nanatufo Boateng. Coming up. Heavy police presence at the University of Ghana to maintain law and order following Friday night's clash between students of rival Mensa Sabah and Commonwealth halls. Also, one person dead and two others injured after fire gutted a plastic melting factory and some residential buildings at Siame in the Ashanti region.
We had to lose one life in the fire. One gentleman, an SSS student who was around 18 years, who was trying to assist in extinguishing the fire, was also caught in the fire and was killed.
Still ahead, radio presenter and two others in critical condition following a gas explosion in their room at Pasa in the OT region.
We deregulate another somatics now. My trial and back. After there's a regulator problem, it may change. You another regulator.
And later, students of the Father Dogley Memorial Technical Institute in New Ayuma in the OT region study under deplorable conditions and appeal to government for support.
When you are in the classroom again, go to the entry in the classroom, first to the entry, what human beings are teaching, what human beings are in the classroom. They say, please, I want you to help us do something about it. The room, because we don't have anyone about it, that is why this should be going like that.
Many thanks for tuning in to Citi TV and, of course, for joining us here on CNR Extra. Let me say good morning to you, Philip Nilate, and welcome to the show.
Thank you, Nanatufo, for having me.
Good to have you. Good to have you. You can also join us with your thoughts, your comments, and contributions via the WhatsApp number 0550-585832, 0550-585832. Let's move into our very first story and take you to the campus of the University of Ghana, where we understand there was a clash between rival halls, Commonwealth and John Mensa Sabah on Friday night.
It is 30 minutes after 8 p.m. and I'm here on the University of Ghana, Legon campus. Students are going about their normal activities. Everything is calm. The only strange thing here on campus, especially around the Sabah Hall, is that there's heavy police presence. From where I stand, I can count about 7 police vehicles, 4 pickups, a van, a black Maria, and another car. There are also about 8 motorbikes with almost 50 police personnel stationed here, closer a few minutes away from where the clashes happened between students of Sabah Hall and Commonwealth Hall, so I'm told. When we entered campus, we also saw some police pickups with personnel on board, patrolling some of the streets on campus to ensure that calm is maintained and sustained following that clashes that led to the destruction of property and some arrest. For Citi News, I am Anna Seidu reporting from the University of Ghana campus.
Well, it's rather unfortunate that healthy rivalry that is supposed to generate academic competitions, sporting competitions, interdisciplinary competitions will go down into violent clashes like what we are seeing on the campus.
And you end up seeing people destroying properties and the institution, properties, personal properties, and so on and so forth. This happened also in KNUST last year, July, where we had Katanga Hall and also Kunti Hall. We had members of these halls having a little misunderstanding and also brought up the issue of they having clashes and they had to destroy properties worth millions of cedis. And I think the police being in this institution, that is the University of Ghana, is very important. And also the university management has issued a statement that they are going to investigate. I think the investigation that is going to be conducted must be done immediately, and it has to be done very fast because it's going to deter other students from engaging into these things. A number of times you see that when nothing is happening about these things, the student will now, okay, so we did it, nothing has happened. But this is someone's vehicle that has been burnt. What if it got to that particular hall, maybe Minister Saba Hall or Commonwealth Hall, the entire building got burnt? What is going to come out of it is going to be that you've lost lives and properties of students. Because if someone is even setting something ablaze between these two people, they are not even going to consider the people in the buildings or whoever is in as of that time. They are just going to do this. And I think it's something that we all have to condemn. It's not right. It's not appropriate. We know that the institutions are supposed to reform us, not for us to be to develop some habit that is going to not going to be beneficial to the society. We don't see ourselves going to the various universities and not coming out as responsible citizens of the country. So if you are starting these things in the schools, then I think we are losing it. The various authorities must take immediate action, i.e. the management of the school and also the police. They must do the investigations very well and see what exactly brought up this particular issue. And now that we've gotten here. So, but the university also says that they are not going to close down the institution. They are going to make sure that teaching and learning is being done as investigation is being conducted.
Well, I mean, the two halls are known to have this bitter rivalry that has resulted in clashes over the years. But most at times, the cause is known. However, this time, whatever sparked the clash is yet to be identified. Yes. But I mean, if you look at the events leading to this clash and the videos that we have seen, it tells you of a deliberate plan to engage in this, because really, if within a few minutes there's an altercation between two individual students from the two halls, I mean, how is it possible for you to mass up over 400 people and even to take off the bust of John Mensah Saba in front of the hall?
It's like, okay, you can't overpower me, or I am in charge and I have to be in charge every now and then. So if you have an issue with somebody who is a member of maybe Vanda or Viking, because I understand the Commonwealth is for Vanda and also the Viking is for Mensah Saba. So if you have issues with somebody who falls within these groups, then certainly we have to come after you and ensure that, no, you have to kowtow to us. This is something that is not right.
Exactly. Yes, I mean, well, we're on campus to learn, first of all, to build ourselves academically. But so what we know so far, I mean, cause of violence yet to be identified, property destroyed, the bust of Mensah Saba stolen. We understand SRC boards have also been destroyed. Some vehicles set ablaze. Exactly. But then also we know that the police has made some arrests. We understand some students have been picked up by the Legon police. I mean, it saddens me that such rivalry, I mean, should have rather generated academic competition.
Exactly, that's what we are looking at.
Yes, we're going to a quiz, and then, of course, we are rooting for our in the respective halls to come up tops and all that. Not to engage in such, I mean, violence and to destroy property and also, of course, cause injuries to some persons. Rather unfortunate, but yeah, clearly, investigations should be expedited. And of course, appropriate sanctions meted out to. And also
with the management of the school, I would say that the management of the school should do everything in their part to ensure that the individuals that did this particular thing should be apprehended, and whatever action has to be taken against them has to be taken against them.
I mean, I think it's just old. It's just old.
I believe that will deter others from doing these things.
Let's not, I mean, go chasing after some historical glory or something. I mean, it doesn't really make sense. Anyway, let's take you to the Ashanti region now. A rather sad story where we understand one person lost his life through a fire incident.
One person has died, while two others have been admitted at the Breman SDA hospital after fire gutted a plastic melting factory and about four residential buildings at Kronum Trase in the Siame municipality of the Ashanti region on Saturday evening.
Now, firefighters tell Citi News the fire started at the plastic melting factory, but later spread to an 11-bedroom house and 3 other adjoining buildings where the deceased and others were trapped. Citi News' Fatih Aminu Ibrahim reports.
18-year-old senior high school student, only identified as Atta, met his untimely death on Saturday evening after he reportedly attempted to bring the fire under control. Eyewitnesses say he rather got trapped and died in the inferno when the fire escalated. An eyewitness who also got trapped in the building but was fortunate enough to find his way out has been narrating the incident to Citi News.
Kofi beboa me na idada ye tire no ne ndu me kitchen ho de no na beboa me nti se obenya nipa bi a fre nipa na me kan nti na obi anso ni ntem ho a ana me sesa matale no me sha atale foforo na ada me fa ni sia ni bewuram ti na mpanifo kra so pan ne ade o mu dum akire oja no ana me so me ne maame no ye hye kitchen no ye dum kitchen ho ja na boy bi ye fre na tamadan fono no okọ ezi asole pani so ezi nso ni papa we omo eda nti wote sa no so baa no kofa fire extinguisher free ezi asole dem baa omo so manento ti o manento no ja isi wo no na obusa se hwan na edum ja wo no mo se emia no se ma menko obi nti o baa no na me wo ho no ma me edum ja no ana obedum ja ni bi ma me nti ma me no asem kan se yenya ne ntem na cylinder si ho no si betimi enyi cylinder ni mum na nke yempie ti yi cylinder na ye pie na ana ase ija no tuba wan si ene smoke no tuba wan si ana ye fruto nti ase yenyimi na efrigu fom na me wo gas no si ana me sai cadet no sai cadet nti am kire crocodile kin bi na me da fom na me nante bokoboko na me di penti me pie no ana me frɛ no 80 no say boy me ba ti me se odi machi anti 80 me frɛ no bi mo anyusu bi ana me wia ya di nsuo ne ade pie ti pie na me de cylinder no be si anim honom nduro no ma so na maame no so no so ahim ti ase edi nkai maame ni pia se ne koyi cylinder no ti mi cylinder no be si on maame di si on maame no so twahwe ana me akoro ya me sa so mi na boy si me be susu yi mu ana me ka kire papa ba ko se akama danfo na me ne hye honom no wakam ti ejina ase na papa me so frɛ fire service for na eja omo ba ya nyame ya adoma omo timi ye nto mo ba ya no musa se omo nya henti bi se akora bi him ana me se akora de no him na me ne ho no ba me mitimi ekotoe da fom ya we ba minim de se okulapse ya na so ye de na won ye wantima ma ba minim de ana omdum jana ntumdum jana we no so no omwuram na mo de politics asa omo de politics omo sa na mo sa ni gugutum.
Two others who are owners of the factory and the 11-bedroom house have been admitted at the Bremai SDA hospital. According to officers from the Ghana National Fire Service, the two lost consciousness due to the extent of fire. The firefighters say the extent of fire demanded the use of extra fire tenders, as the 3 tenders they initially started with were not enough to bring the fire under control. 2 more tenders were brought in to help douse the flames due to the amount of plastic materials packed at the factory. Here is the Bremai Fire Station's Divisional Commander, DO3 Selassie Avevo, speaking to the media after bringing the fire under control.
Yes, it was a factory that processes plastic and then polythenes that got fire, and then fire service was on ground to attack it. We were very strategic. We had to be very tactical because the wind was not on our side and it had to engulf other adjoining buildings or residences that were around also into the fire because of the wind, the way the wind was blowing and the intensity of the fire. Unfortunately also, we had to lose one life in the fire. One gentleman, an SSS student who was around 18 years, who was trying to assist in extinguishing the fire, was also caught in the fire and was killed, unfortunately. The extent of damage as we speak, the factory itself, which was attached to the residence, was destroyed, totally destroyed by the fire. And then the owner's residence, which was just a few meters away from the factory, about 11-bedroom house, was also totally destroyed. Unfortunately, they are pets, that is dogs which were also in the house and were in chains, were also killed by the fire. Other 3 adjoining buildings also caught up in the fire and partially destroyed.
DO3 Selassie Avevo has called on the government to resource the fire service with more equipment to help firefighters during unforeseen events such as this.
Firefighting is a very hectic task. That is why we continue to call on the government to retool the fire service. There are a lot of modern equipment that would be used in firefighting that would also safeguard the lives of firemen. You saw the thick black smoke that was here yesterday, covering everywhere. Imagine you are fighting this fire in this thick smoke without protective equipment, PPE. So we continuously hammer on PPEs for personnel of the fire service.
Although the situation has currently been brought under control, the owners of the building and the factory are still receiving treatment at the hospital. For Citi News, Fatih Amin Ibrahim. Chrono.
This is a rather unfortunate one, and we keep getting similar reports. Fire outbreaks, and in most cases, destruction of property, and in some cases, loss of lives. I mean, in this one, we're hearing that one person has lost his life, a student, we understand. But you see, it brings to fore the issue of our emergency response system, our response time to some of these distress calls. That is on the part of our security agencies here, the Ghana National Fire Service. Then also there is the issue of civic responsibility. I mean, what to do in the instance of such an outbreak, and then of course the safety and security measures at various workplaces such as this rubber melting factory.
And I can say within the last few weeks, say 2 weeks or 3 weeks within this space, we've had similar instances at Mile 7, at Chimota. We had the same thing at Dakuman Post Office, behind a place they call Cable. We also had another place too at CMB Market. That place also got burnt. That 4 buildings got burnt. We've also gotten the same issue. So what is the question? I think a little education needs to be given out to these people. If you have an apartment, you have a place, you are operating a business that you notice that the materials you are using are combustible, they are highly inflammable, you can easily get them burnt and all that. You should have fire extinguishers there. You should have something, a system that you can prioritize your safety before you call on to the Ghana National Fire Service. They will certainly come, but there are places that are slum areas, they are very crowded, that the fire service, even the organization sometimes complain that we are not able to get access to some of these places. Logistics is also another issue. The firefighter, he also indicated that government must retool the service because there are new technologies that can be used. For instance, you can be here and you can quench a fire a very far distance from us. Are we getting these materials from the various organizations and all that? So I think that a number of this comes to bear that a number of things must be done before we get into the dry season proper, because it looks like we are just at the preliminary stages of the dry season, and we are recording a lot of fire cases in a lot of places and all that. So I think that I always call on the stakeholders, because certainly the stakeholders must get involved, i.e. the Ghana National Fire Service, the government, and also individuals who are in charge. Something very important, hydrant. Sometimes the Ghana Fire Service, they've complained a number of times that places that they tap the water from for the quenching of the fire and all that, we have buildings on these
hydrants.
So you would have that the metropolitan municipal and district assemblies must also take charge in ensuring that places like these, we don't have buildings on them. It also makes the work very difficult for them. So a place will be burning, the fire service will get there.
The tender may run out of water and will need a refill. But then they would have to go back to station before.
A very far place. A similar incident happened at Makola CMB area. They had to drive all the way to police depot. That is on the Tesano stretch. And by the time you come back,
the fire will be spreading because the fire won't wait for you. I mean, with this particular case, you heard from the officer, I mean, the direction of the wind is what led to the destruction of the other 4 buildings next to the factory. And you see the nature of materials that had caught fire. I mean, these were plastic materials, rubber, that were melting. And so, I mean, this will spread more rapidly than others. But then again, like I've always said, the backstops with leadership. Before, this is a factory and it is known. Has there ever been any inspection by the Ghana National Fire Service? Have they passed any fire integrity test? Have personnel of the factory been given any training? I mean, we are here periodically, we get training on how to fight fire. And so, if you ask me, if some of these things had been done, perhaps the extent of damage we are witnessing now could have been reduced.
And I think that the Ghana National Fire Service also has a lot of job on their hands, because like you are saying, there are some homes that you have people say they have to cook and all that. Have you taken time to educate people? I'm sure maybe some form of campaign could be done on TV, on radio, traditional media, social media and all that, as to training people about that. Because certainly we are going into the dry season, and if all these things are not done, we are going to record a lot more of the fire incidences. So I also think that we also have to take our own security into our own hands. If you are working at a place that it's like a plastic institution or a plastic company, and the place that you are, you can easily have issues with fire outbreak. You should ensure that the right thing is done, because when it gets bent, the fire service will come, but by the time they'll get there, things may have gone.
Let's just prioritize our safety at the workplace and of course at home, because in the OT region, a journalist with KFM together with some of his friends are currently in critical condition because a gas exploded in their home.
A radio presenter with KFM at Kasa in the OT region, together with his 5 friends, have sustained varied degrees of injuries after a gas cylinder in their room exploded. 3 of the injured are said to be in critical condition and on admission at the St. Joseph's Hospital, while the other 3 have been treated and discharged. According to Citi News sources, the incident occurred on Saturday night. There is more in this report.
Even though circumstances leading to the gas cylinder explosion remain scanty, Citi News sources say the victims were affected after a radio show host with KFM in Kwasa in the Nkwanta North District turned on the cylinder to cook. The incident, according to sources, occurred on Saturday night, and the victims were rushed to the St. Joseph Hospital in the OT region. 3 of the affected persons have been treated and discharged, while the other 3 have been bandaged after sustaining life-threatening injuries. The radio show host, by name Seth Mensah Akrobeto, got burnt all over his body. They have been narrating their ordeal.
So let me do if you know, so gas and dinner all night. They feel like gas, and I'm used to it. Remember when the first time we be used to we deregulate and I'm somatics now. My trial and back. After there's a regulator problem, it may change. You want another regulator. That needs much. And you're regulating that too.
Oh, now that's missing a leaky in the ground and
a leaky, and then
Madame from China. I don't know what to do. Any of what no other. We didn't come on as a beautiful government. I don't want to that. No, what open and I got in a ship. So, not done it, but and I have better. The terms are to sit through the last of the sleep. One where they were down for me. That's not being okay. I'm down to look back to one friend. Stay, Martin. Okay.
Well, I mean, there's been a lot of education on how to keep and, of course, operate or use gas cylinders. But it looks like it hasn't really gone down well with the people. Hence, we recording some of these incidents still. I mean, this is very, very unfortunate. And you can only imagine the kind of pains these people are going through. We understand 3 of them have been treated and discharged, but the remaining 3 are in critical condition, as you can see from that video.
And they can't even speak. You know, we are moving from the stage of using charcoal firewood to the usage of LPG. Recently, when the tanker drivers went on strike, you could tell the number of people who had to face or bear the brunt as a result of that particular action. That should tell you that a number of people are using LPG, and LPG is highly inflammable. For that matter, a lot of education must be given to people. If you are keeping the cylinder in your room and it's not well protected, and you open the burner that you are using for the cooking, and you leave it and you just light the matches, certainly it's going to spark fire, and you don't know the end result. I think that, like I would always say, we all have to take security into our own hands. Ensure that what you are using at home, you have a better understanding of whatever you are using, so that you don't find yourself wanting. I would just sympathize with the people who had to go through this particular issue, but that should serve as a warning or a caution to all of us that it's though a good servant or a good master, but it can also have its own challenges when you don't take good care of it. At the end of the day, you would have people, we have burning and all that. When you go to the Kolebu bench unit, you see the number of people are there suffering as a result of not taking good care, or accident that happened in their
as a result of
the gas explosion and all that. So I think that we should just bear in our minds, or we should have it at the back of our minds, that if you are using such a thing in your kitchen, you should treat it well. Also, when you go and you're going to fill the cylinder, the valve or the valve,
you need
let me
to
put
check
it the valve. It needs to be checked, and it needs to be worked on so that there is no leakage and all that. So at the end of the day, you know that you have safety at home, and also you would know how to use it well, so that there wouldn't be issues like that.
Exactly. There are a lot of safety measures that can be employed to protect yourselves, your family, and your property. Even transporting the gas from the point of sale to your house. There's a particular way in which it should be carried, so you don't have the substance within the cylinder itself. Shaking or gathering some level of steam, which can possibly lead to an explosion. And then, of course, those of us who want to check how much gas we have in our cylinders and go shaking it and all that. We've been told that you can pour water on the cylinder, and then you get a marking that can give you an idea of where the level of gas you have in your cylinder. Important. So let's be particular about our safety, that of our families, and of course our property, so that we can avoid some of these instances. You're watching the CNR Extra here on Citi TV. Still ahead. Students of the Father Dogley Memorial Technical Institute in New Ayoma in the Oti region study under deplorable conditions and appeal to government for support. We'll be right back with the details. Don't go away. Welcome back. This is CNR Extra on Citi TV. My name is Nanatufu Boateng, and I'm in studio with Philip Ni Latte. We're having a conversation about some of the stories that made it to our major news bulletin, CNR. And so we'd like to hear from you. Send us your comments and your contributions via the WhatsApp number 0550 585832 0550 585832. Alternatively, you can leave a comment under our Facebook feed, that's Citi TV, or tweet at us on Twitter at Citi TV GH. Let's now talk education, and of course the challenge with infrastructure continues. to rear its head, even when bigger conversations around sustainability of the free SHS and all. Let's take you to the OT region and bring you the story of students of the Father Dogley Technical Institute.
As many other rural areas in Ghana, access to quality education has become an obstacle in the educational sector. In these areas, basic facilities for children to access education are very poor and deplorable. Citi News' Desmond Selassie-Agor visited the Father Dogley Memorial Technical Institute in New Ayoma in the OT region and reports on how the deplorable conditions in the school are affecting academic activities.
Although technical and vocational institutes have been segregated from the Ghana Education Service and placed directly under the Ministry of Education to ensure smooth coordination for it to receive the attention it deserves, most technical institutions still face several challenges. The lack of school buildings and net facilities, lack of human resources to fill spaces in the school, lack of machines for training, among others, have hindered the development of students in these institutions. Students of the Father Dogley Memorial Technical Institute in New Ayoma in the Jasikan district of the OT region are now competing with animals for space to study in some dilapidated and uncompleted classroom structures. According to the students, the numerous challenges in the school are putting them at a disadvantage and are thus appealing for help.
There are lack of classroom, chairs, dormitory, etc., etc. We don't have full class here. When it's about to rain, we need to close and go to the dormitory and go and sleep. So all these things is affecting our academically.
This is my classroom. Whenever we are learning, rain want to fall, the rain will be entering, because of the air taking the rain, it will be entering the room, falling on us. Whenever we are learning, all those things, they don't know how to solve those problems. When we are in the classroom again, go to the entering the classroom, fouls will be entering, what human beings are teaching. What human beings are in the classroom. They say, please, I want you to help us about do something about it. The room, because we don't have anyone about it, that is why this will be going like that.
Challenges there, baby, plenty. When it comes to infrastructures, dormitories, classrooms, and a lot of stuff. We can't say it all. So if you are able to help us, especially the government, to help a lot.
The school's library as well is not equipped with modern books and technology. The school's librarian says most books in the library are outdated.
Since the introduction of the TVET, we've not received much books in regards to those particular courses. And this is one of the reasons why the library lacks a lot of books for the students. When you move backwards a bit and you take a shot of behind you, you realize that most of the books there are not relevant to what we do over here. Because as far as the technical courses are concerned, most of these books were brought in so many years ago. And right now, they are not relevant to the courses we do. So we would like to have more books that are very relevant now, pertaining to the courses that they are doing.
Bridget Jaka is the principal of the institution and has been speaking to Citi News on the challenges of the school.
In actual fact, we have a whole lot of challenges I have to talk about. The first one has to do with infrastructure. There's a technical institution, and then there's the need for students to practice on the skills that they have been exposed to. But we don't have workshops in most of the programs that we run over here. We have about 9 programs that we run over here. Hospitality and then catering management is one of the courses that we run. And then we have put up our own a small laboratory, but the tools and equipment are not there. Then when we come to electrical engineering, also we need equipment and then the tools that will help the student to practice with. We are appealing to stakeholders to help us beef up our infrastructure needs in terms of classrooms, dormitories, and then also equipping our department that we have.
Despite the challenges the school is plagued with, some 147 people, mostly youth, have successfully completed a 24-week intensive competency-based training in the oil palm production under an agricultural, technical and vocational education training program in a bid to rekindle the interest in the production of oil palm. Some participants say the future of oil palm production looks brighter, but want support from government.
We came to learn about oil palm plantation, and we've gotten an insight in the oil palm industry. So it has enlightened me on how to go about with the oil palm, the opportunities and the benefits in oil palm. So as I go, I would love to work with the knowledge I've gained and the skills I've gained from here.
Now we have the skill. We have the zeal to do something. We are ready to start something, because if we are waiting for the government work, I don't think that one will be possible, because we are the youth are many in the country. So so far as we are ready to start something, if the government supports us a little to start, then it can even reduce unemployment.
Now that I'm done with the course, I don't have adequate fund, but I would like the government to support me. So I want to go into nursery after this program, so the government should support me.
Despite the school's efforts in molding lives of the youth across the country, the Father Dogley Memorial Technical Institute is still bedeviled with some challenges and is calling on stakeholders to come to their aid. Reporting for Citi News, I'm Desmond Salasiago.
So you see, a school like this, I mean, it was established by the Roman Catholic Church in the Jessica Diocese, and then previously was under the NVTI. Now it's been absorbed into the Ghana education system, the GES. And so if students are competing with animals for space under dilapidated structures, I mean, how do they learn in the first place? Because there's so much distraction around them.
Question for the gods.
I mean, this is a question for the leaders. Exactly. They know these problems exist.
And this is very important, that we have to pay attention to these things, because the stakeholders, PTA, we have the old students, we have government, we have the community members, we have traditional leaders. I think if all these people should come together, we can find a solution to this problem. Because the same thing happened in Bishop Herman College, where we saw a number of stories being written about issues, dilapidated buildings in the school, and here and there we don't have the facility to accommodate people and all that. But I think that a solution comes when the stakeholders come together and ensure that we need to get this solved, because you can't have people learning under trees and having animals in the classrooms and all that. So anytime they move back into the classroom, they have to clean the whole classroom again before they learn. That is an extra.
You are losing man hours, you are exhausting the students. Students are constantly distracted. So how do we even pay attention and absorb whatever it is that we are being taught?
You understand? And a healthy mind lives in a healthy body.
Exactly.
So if you don't have a healthy condition, you don't have an appropriate, a conducive environment to learn, certainly whatever you are learning, you are not so excited about it, because you would find someone sitting in a class that is very well built, or a classroom that you have all the facilities you need. When you are learning, you know that you are learning, you don't have any challenge at all. But with this, I think that government must pay much attention to it. The municipal chief executive in that area, that is the MC or the assembly, must push for this to be done. The management of the school, just don't wait for the media to always come so that we push out these things. Something has to be done. The leaders in the area, the traditional leaders, put your foot on the ground and ensure that this is going to work. And I'm sure that they have old students. The old students must also come out to ensure that what is happening in the school is our image. We've passed through the school before.
So let's all through our support.
Let's all through our support and get things solved. Yes.
Sort this out. All right. Exactly. Well, let's hear from you. Let us know what you think. Send us your thoughts or your comments via the WhatsApp number 0550-585832. 0550-585832. In the Ashanti region, the people of Asokore Mampong are unhappy with the delay in the completion of an AstroTurf project.
There is heavy police presence at Commonwealth and Sabah halls of the University of Ghana, Legon, following clashes between students. Scores of police personnel are stationed at both halls, while others patrol some streets on campus.
Well, I apologize for that insert, but really the issue has to do with the completion of an AstroTurf project, for which a sword was cut in 2018 by the then Minister for Zongo Development, Inner Cities and Zongo Development, Mustafa Hamid. Now that ministry has been scrapped, and it looks like the project has been abandoned. Now, we understand that the Zongo Development Fund Secretariat has been apologizing to the people for the delay. We can take that clip now and then say a few words about it.
The Highlanders Park, located at Mimpasem in the Asokore-Mampo municipality, was to be transformed into a modern facility with a football pitch and other recreational facilities. The project has not been completed since work started in 2018. This angered some youths from the municipality, and in June this year, they heaped the gravel to one side so they can go ahead to use the pitch even in its uncompleted state. The Zongo Development Fund Secretariat has been apologizing to the people of the area.
To be frank, I became the CEO in 2019. When I came, that contract had already been given. And to my surprise, since I came, I've given 10 AstroTurf. They've all been done. So how come the one I came to meet is still there undone? Contractor has tried to explain it. He didn't make sense to me. All those who were around the contract, they've tried to explain. Because is it money? I won't accept it. Because how come those who came later got money to do it? And those who were there earlier couldn't get money to do it. If the contractor hasn't done it, why don't we terminate the contract and award it to another? Nobody is able to give me a satisfying explanation. So at this stage, the best thing to do to the people of Abuabo is to say we apologize. We apologize on behalf of my board, my coordinator, Ben Abdallah, myself, and anybody associated with Zongo who could have done something about it, and still nothing was done. We apologize to the people of Abuabo.
Chief Executive Officer of the Zongo Development Fund, Arafat Suleimana Abdullahi, denied claims the people of the area were being discriminated against due to their affiliation with the opposition NDC.
Zongo Development shouldn't be there because Zongo is NDC's stronghold, and we are doing projects there. We can't single one Zongo and discriminate against, because all Zongos don't vote for MPP. No Zongos don't vote for MPP, but still we are doing the project there. So the issue of discrimination or political maneuvers don't come in at all. Then we should have done this, we should have said Bantima Development Fund or Pachi number 1 Development Fund. They vote for us. But we brought the whole project. And if you look at the money the MPP government has given to Zongo Development Fund, if I want to count the projects we've done, nobody, no agency has been able to do that. And they are all in Zongo communities.
Meanwhile, work has resumed on a similar project at Mampontin in the Kwabiri East municipality after work stalled when the sword was cut in 2019.
Generally, we cannot be excited about the delay that has occasioned this project. And so the contractor is compensating for that delay by the revision of the work schedule so that by December of this year we can complete this project. This is a part of His Excellency the President's vision of creating safe spaces for youth congregation, and this constituency, which by the way is an important constituency for us in the ruling New Patriotic Party, and we are keen on completing not just this project, but many of the projects that the National Youth Authority is undertaking across the country.
Most of the issues have been resolved, and I believe, looking at the new work schedule that the contractor has given us, he has given us up to December we are hoping that by December they should be done, so that our young people can go back to activities that they used to do on the pitch. And definitely, if they do this pitch, it's going to be a great relief, because as a member of parliament who is also a politician, the difficult part is when you make promises to your people and you are not able to deliver on them. Then indeed, your people will start having trust issues with you. And so I believe once this is done, the confidence that my people have in me will even be much more than I even expected.
Residents of the Asokore-Mompo municipality say they want this project completed. Inhabitants within the Asokore-Mompo municipality continue to express their disappointment over government's failure to complete this AstroTurf pitch. Hafiz Tijani, Citi News, Asokore-Mompo municipality, Ashanti region.
I mean, to be fair, that this particular government has constructed a number of AstroTurfs in mostly Zongo communities across the country. Yes. But it's just that, I mean, if you would take a piece of land, demarcate it for the construction of a pitch, mind you, this place was being used as some sort of a pitch by the young people in that community already. You've taken it, you fenced it, but there's nothing happening.
So how are we going to play our football
Exactly.
now?
So you saw in the, I mean, the young boys moving the gravels to one side so they could have access to the field to play.
And I think this came back some time ago when they moved the gravels aside and they were like they wanted it done.
Yeah.
So now that all the big men have gone there, please get it done. Because from 2018 when you cut sword, some say 3-4 years ago, it should be constructed by now, if not for finances or issues here and there. Now that you've apologized, let's see some work being done about it, and not yet to resume and all that. We've heard of the yet to resume, it will be done soon and all that. Let's just give some timelines and let's get it done for the people in that particular community, because it has a number of benefits to them. The AstroTurf, some play football there, some have events there. It serves as a recreational facility as well for people in that community and people who are also having AstroTurfs in the various communities, example the Zango community. So I think that if the minister, the National Youth Authority and all the big men have all gone there, certainly they should want to ensure that it's going to be constructed so that the people just heave some sigh of relief, and get the activities done.
Right. So yeah, let's hope that this is completed and then the youth can have access to it. And we don't see videos of cattle grazing on the AstroTurf as we have been seeing in some videos in some areas.
And in some areas, we are told some people go and cut the AstroTurf, what has been used on the pitch, and they use it to decorate their rooms.
Wow.
Yeah, so please, if it's being constructed for you, you should ensure that it's managed well and is used for its purpose. Yes.
All right. Let's go for a break here, but stay with us on CNR Extra, still ahead. National Youth Authority apologizes to the chiefs and people of Kofodia over delays in the completion of the Kofodia Multi-Purpose Youth Resource Center. We'll be right back with the details. Welcome back. This is CNR Extra on Citi TV. Let's take you to Kofodia, where a project which started about 5 years ago is yet to be completed and handed over for use.
The leadership and board members of the National Youth Authority have rendered an unqualified apology to the chiefs and good people of Koforidua over the delay in the completion of the Koforidua Multipurpose Youth Resource Center.
The project, which started about 5 years ago, is yet to be completed and handed over for use, a situation which has disrupted sporting and other social activities for residents, students, second cycle institutions, and other corporate organizations who, prior to the remodeling of the Koforidua Sports Stadium, used it for their activities.
Citi News' Neil Ni Amate Kanaku visited the site with board members of the National Youth Authority and reports that the project, according to contractors, will be ready for use by January 2023.
The Koforidua Sports Stadium, prior to the arrangement to restructure the facility to become a youth resource center, was used by all schools in the municipality for their sports festival. The Sports Council also rented the space to organizations such as churches and other groups for their outdoor activities. But for almost 6 years now, when a contractor moved to the site for the remodernization of the facility into a youth resource center, the project is yet to be completed. Even though the project was initially scheduled to be completed in 18 months, we understand phase 1 of the project is almost 90% complete 5 years on. Michael Ochikofi-Befi, the Member of Parliament for the area and Deputy Minister of Trade and Industry, is not a happy man.
That's been a big problem. Koforidua being a municipality that has turned into a cosmopolitan area very close to Accra. A lot of people now have come to settle here, the middle class, and also we are developing the young people. A lot of them have also grown so well in the area of sports. And so I guess everybody will be worried, not only the Member of Parliament or politicians. So it's a good news, a relief for us as people of Koforidua that at least we are getting good assurances from the contractor and the consultants that they'll be able to complete this project latest by the close of the year.
The CEO of the National Youth Authority and board members say they are bent on ensuring that all the youth resource centers being constructed across all the regions are completed. They took a working tour of the facility and inspected the progress of work. The CEO of the National Youth Authority, Pius Enam Hajide, blamed the delay on the impact of COVID-19.
There has been some delay, but those delays have been explained. We all are witnesses to the negative impact of coronavirus on us. It impacted and affected the schedule of work. You know that even physical distancing was encouraged, and so many things grounded to a halt, and this project also suffered as a fallout of the coronavirus, so that is key. The second thing we also have to notice is that the scope of the project itself has changed. The project was not started with the concept that you now see, that has restaurants and in some instances even residential facilities. You will notice that the number of stands have also increased. We now have
5 years, non-completion. I mean, it's a cause for worry. I mean, some of these things, when they start, they should be expedited and put to use upon completion.
Yes, very important. So you don't give assurances to the people in the area. You go and cut sword, and they are expecting that a particular project to be completed in a particular time, i.e. sometimes they give that in 18 months or 24 months the project is supposed to be completed. We know that funds is a problem. Sometimes you will have natural disasters and all that, but in a way the project has to be completed, because once you've said that you are going to do it, it has to be completed so that people will have trust in the government. So I think that now that the leadership of the National Youth Authority have gone to this particular area to apologize, just not the apology we want. The construction of the project must go on so that at the end of the day we will see that fine, you've apologized and you've done the work.
All right, that's our show for today. Many thanks to you, Philip Nilate, and of course many thanks to you as well for joining us. My name is Nanatufu Boateng. We'll see you again.